Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. I'm going to double tap to turn it on and get started right away so I'm not wasting anybody's time. I'm in Portage, Michigan today, taking the car all the way to a Walgreens to the pharmacy. We're going to see if it can take me there without any interventions or disengagements. An intervention counts as me scrolling up on the right scroll wheel to change the speed, stepping on the accelerator to change the speed, or pressing on the left turn stalk to turn on the turn signal. A disengagement counts as me stepping on the brake pedal, jerking the steering wheel, or pressing up on the right drive stalk to cancel out of the beta mode. You can see it's speeding up right now. It just recognized that speed limit sign back there. I have a 13% speed offset. It just bumped it up to 40. Feels really natural. Nobody behind us. This is an easy trip here, so it shouldn't be too difficult for beta. If we do run into some situations, I will be surprised, to be honest with you. These are the situations that I love to test it in. And this is what, if I was living in this area, which is a lot less involved compared to where I live in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, I would feel a lot more comfortable buying the beta software or buying full self-driving. So when you buy full self-driving today, what you're essentially buying is the ability for the car to stop at stoplights and stop signs. And that's pretty much it. The beta is something that you opt into, and it's really a promised feature for the future. So when you buy the package today, you're not really getting beta. So just keep that in mind. But if you are living in a remote area and your drives are pretty straightforward, oh, look at that cyclist. So it saw them, the light turned green, it paused, it hesitated for them, and then went forward. I loved that. That was really nice. But yeah, no, essentially, if you buy it, you're not buying this feature per se. But if you want to use this, it's in this environment, I think it's worth it. Now, $15,000 worth it? That's debatable. But I think for a $200 a month subscription, just to try it out, definitely worth it. Try it out if you are interested. I think it's fun. It's certainly interesting. Now, it's not just you providing a benefit to Tesla. You get some benefit out of this by having this software in your car, because you can witness the future, essentially. I'm going out there. Some people might cringe when I say you're witnessing the future, but really, I think Tesla has the right approach here with vision, a vision-only approach. It does surprisingly well in the majority of situations. And now, is it ever going to be 100%? I highly doubt it. But is it going to get close? Yeah. Is it going to get to a point where you can feel comfortable using it a lot more than today? Absolutely. So take a look at this. Okay, we've got 3 children in front of us, 2 on bikes. It's going forward. Look at that. Nice. That was done really, really well. I didn't have any issues with that. It felt really natural. And coming forward here, we're going down White's Road. And then the pharmacy is going to be on the left just before we get to Westnedge. So for anybody familiar with this area, probably going to know what I'm talking about. But that was really cool with the pedestrians there. Even though they were there waiting for the walk signal, the car proceeded forward. It felt really good. I didn't have any issues there. Okay, light turns green. And going forward here, we got about a mile. Looks like it's having us turn left. So let's zoom out and see. Okay, so that is exactly what I thought. We're going to be turning left. I thought it was further than a mile. But yeah, we're a mile up, and then we're going to turn into the pharmacy. So after that, I'm going to swing by and grab some lunch. It is 1:16 p.m. It's a little bit late to grab lunch. I feel the car is going a little bit too slow for this area. So up here, I see the speed limit is 35. Some people are coming up behind me, kind of pushing me a little bit. So I am going to intervene here. Not necessary. So I'm hesitant to count that as an intervention, to be honest with you, because I probably could have set the speed offset a little bit higher, but just to be polite. Now there's a nice gap behind. So I like to have that. It's from a comfort standpoint, just so I'm not irritating anybody. Because when you're in the left lane like this, you really should be going faster than the cars in the right lane. And there's a car right behind me, which you can't see. Well, you can kind of see on the screen. And they are pushing. I mean, they're kind of going the same speed as me. But thankfully, they're not passing now that I increased the speed. So this feels a lot more natural. And as soon as that speed limit sign changed to 35, it kept me at the 40 here. So this is good. Okay, the car, although it's hard to see on camera, it's slowed down for that vehicle coming out and turning left. It's really, really smooth. Didn't have any issues with that. And let's see how it handles this left turn. We've got some traffic up here. So this is Westnedge Avenue. And the pharmacy should be right over here. Okay, left turn signal goes on. We've got a car right in front of us showing us the way. Now, Beta does not take cues from other vehicles, so it looks like it's hesitating here. I think it's because there's a double yellow line. Car behind me is probably wondering what's going on. I should have taken that gap. I probably should have stepped on the accelerator, but the car is being extra cautious here, waiting for these other cars to pass. Now, if it doesn't go now, I'm going to have to press it. Okay, it's not going, so I'm going to have to press it. That is another intervention. So things like that, it's not perfect, but if you nudge it a little bit and just give it the go-ahead, it will figure it out. And going right next to that ladder, that was kind of interesting. Okay, so it says that we've arrived. 0 feet, navigate on autopilot ending. It's going to say press accelerator to resume. There we go, press accelerator to resume. So I don't need to press the accelerator. In fact, if you do press accelerator, it just kind of goes to a random path because we've ended our trip. We're here. I don't have another destination dialed in at this point in time. So I have to dial it in next, which you'll see after I come back out of the pharmacy. I'm going to stop by and grab some sandwiches from the Jimmy John's, which I believe is right around the corner from here. So I have the option of going through the drive-thru, which I'm going to do right now. And hopefully they allow me to pick up this. My mother got some poison ivy or poison oak or something. Oh, there's quite a few cars in the drive-thru. I'm going to go in. I don't like waiting in drive-thrus like this. I mean, the pharmacy closes at 1:30, so we've got really 10 minutes. So I think it's going to be faster if I go in. So let me do that, and I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, so here I am heading in, getting the medicine, and then heading back out. The Jimmy John's right there across the street, very, very close, and here is my car right here. So we're going to take it over there. All right, so we are back. Let's see how well it can do this. As you could see there, the Jimmy John's is right across the street, although it's going to be a little bit tricky to get over there. Let's see how the route plans this. I think it might have us go back out onto Westnedge. It's going to be interesting to see how it handles this. This is where Beta falls down a little bit usually, because these shorter trips like this, not necessarily a short trip, but like the distances and the turns when you're really close to a destination, sometimes it's difficult when you have traffic around. It looks like it's saying offline address entry. Sometimes if you wait long enough, it will find a connection. Not sure why, because I've been in my car here for a little while. Let's see if it finds it here. I find it hilarious that it can't find it here. I try offline address entry. That didn't work very well. I literally moved my car 10 feet, and then it's able to find it. I have no idea. It's right across the street. I find it hilarious that I'm looking up something that I know is right next to me. Okay, there it is. It's saying, okay, there we go, 0.1 mile. We want the second one, not the first one. Interesting that I had to move the car a little bit. So let me back up. There's nobody in this parking lot. Should be safe. It's So I think a lot of people that watch my videos, they know already how Beta operates. But for anybody that's new, you cannot have the car go in reverse. So if you want it to leave a parking lot from a parking space, you do need to back into the parking space. So let me do that. Let's see if I can get us out of here without any extra engagements. Okay, here we go. So as I suspected, we're going to go out on the main road and we're going to turn right. Turning right is easier than turning left. And then we've got another right turn into the Jimmy John's parking lot. Okay, I'm in drive. So what I can do is, you can see the steering wheel icon in the top left. I can turn it on. So let me slide this over and we'll see how well it does. It looks like it's having me go all the way over there, which is kind of going through the drive-thru, when really I would exit to the far right there. Let's see what happens. Okay, maybe it'll find that path. It's clear on, you can see it. Okay, let's see what happens. It changed its mind. Now it was just going to go into the curb there. So that is a disengagement. Unfortunately, that still is an issue. Now, of course, I could have experimented and let it hit the curb, but no way. I'm not going to do that with a $50,000 car. And by the way, that I think is the number one reason why there are so few accidents with this software. I always find it funny because Tesla brags that there have been very few accidents. Well, the reason why is because people like their cars. They don't want them to crash, so they're going to take over anytime it makes a mistake. And unfortunately, the mistake rate is pretty high right now. Let's try it again. Please figure it out. Okay, it made a decision this time to go straight. Now it's kind of a little bit indecisive. It's got to go through here. Yes. Okay, good. And now putting on the brakes, creeping forward for visibility. Not sure why it's slowing down here. I think it'll figure it out. So again, these parking lots, you have to bear in mind, are uncharted territory. So it's not documented to work in parking lots. So if it does work, you're essentially lucky. There we go. Figured it out. But most of the time it does work. So, and it is impressive. Especially the first time you use it, it's one of those things that's like, wow, hey, that's pretty cool. But after you use it for quite a while and it struggles, it's kind of the facepalm effect, where it's like, I can't figure that out. Come on. Okay, so here we go. I liken it to a statement that Holmar's blog made on a live stream with Dirty Tesla with Chris. He said, essentially Tesla took water and turned it into wine. And you have a lot of people that are saying, hey, this wine is bitter. This wine sucks. It doesn't taste very good. Let's drop that for a moment and just have some appreciation for the fact that they just frickin' turned water into wine. I mean, that is a big deal. Let's not forget how much of a big change they've made here so quickly. So these incremental changes that are happening are happening slower than I had anticipated, but they are happening, and it is getting better and better over time. Okay, let's see what happens here. We're going to be turning right into the parking lot right after this. We do have someone right behind us. It's going to be a tight turn right in here. Okay, turn signal goes on. Good. It's got to start slowing down. Good. Coming. Hesitating there. Aborted at the last second. Okay, now it's slowing down, and it's trying to come up with plan B. Really throwing off this car in back of me. I am stepping on the accelerator to avoid awkwardness, and now it's going to have to reroute. So it totally missed that turn. Unfortunately, I had to but I had to intervene there to avoid extra issues. There it's getting over. Now it's going to have to do this big turnaround and reroute itself. Hopefully it doesn't screw up this time. So having the camera mounted on top of my car saves me. If I were in Chicago, someone would have honked at me. Thankfully, the truck driver in the back, he was patient enough, and he probably figured something's going on with this camera on top of the car. So I got lucky there that he didn't get really upset. I was keeping a close eye on him. I should have the camera in the back of my car, because sometimes when that happens, the driver will throw their hands in the air, or they'll, give me some sort of gesture. They'll throw their arm out the window, but he didn't do anything. He didn't react at all. And again, I think the camera on the top of my car saves me in those situations. So I had debated for a really long time putting a bumper sticker on my car, but that just brings unnecessary attention. And you also don't want to, it's kind of like bragging in a way. Like, I didn't want it to come off like that either. So I decided not to say my car is driving itself. And then I thought maybe I should have a bumper sticker saying student driver or something to that effect, take caution, or robotaxi in training. And at the end of the day, I just decided, you know what, if it screws up, I'm going to take over. And that's what everybody should be doing, by the way. Just like I did there, intervene. If you're new to the beta program and you're testing it out and the car is doing something stupid, please stop the car from doing that stupid thing. Make sure that you are being courteous to other drivers around you, because we do not want this software overall, generally speaking, to become a major nuisance to the public. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been testing now for 20 months, and there are a lot of times when it makes mistakes. You have to be prepared for that. Oh, I just stepped on the brakes really hard there. I'm not sure why. Some things came flying forward in my seat. But finally now it's taken the turn correctly, coming into the parking lot. Now I am going to go through the drive-through, skeptical here how it's going to handle this. I don't think it's going to take me through the drive-through, but usually it takes me right to the front door. And here it looks like 25 feet I'm arriving at the front door, which is right immediately on the right here. So once again, it says autopilot navigation complete. Press accelerator to resume. I don't need to do that. So I'm going to put on the brake and take over. So from here, I'm going to drive manually through the drive-through. And then we'll pick up after I'm back on the road, and we'll take it back into the neighborhood area. And then we'll close out the video from there. Hopefully no issues getting back home. Okay, we are back. Let's see if it can take us out of the drive-through. It allows me to turn it on here. We do have the destination dialed in. Coming through here, hesitating. Okay, going left. A little bit jerky sometimes coming out of these parking lots. I'm going to dial the speed down. It's trying to go 45 miles an hour right now. Dial it way down. No jerky movement. Sometimes it just tries to speed out of here. Stopped at traffic light control. Now look at that. That's really interesting. There's no traffic light here. Use accelerator or gear stalk to continue. Let me try putting up the speed. Interesting. So, I don't know about you, but I don't see a traffic signal anywhere. And it's not being displayed on the screen either. That is so crazy. That's the first time I've seen something like that. Let's do what it says and press on the accelerator. Someone is coming up behind us as well, so... Okay, there we go. Just a little nudge and it's back on track. Makes me nervous with these curbs. These curbs are awfully steep. Now, it better not try to jump left. I don't think you can, but I probably would. It looks like it's going to try to do that. So the left turn signal is on. And now we've got some traffic. Nobody behind us, thankfully. So this is a right turn only area, and we're jutting out in the road just ever so slightly. So if someone were to come, we would be in the way. And it has a chance to go right now if it goes quickly. Okay, so now we're really jutting out in the road. Thankfully, again, nobody behind us and nobody coming in the left lane, so I'm letting it do this. But this would, in Chicago, this would be a takeover moment. Okay, coming forward. Definitely not the right area to turn left, but hey, it did it. I didn't see any signs saying you couldn't turn left, but the way that exit was oriented, you had to go right there. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. All right, we're going to go straight here, and hopefully it's a zero intervention, well, with the exception of getting out of the parking lot, hopefully it's a zero intervention return home here. So yeah, just commenting on the state of full self-driving beta right now in 2023 on June 16th. I can say that it's definitely more stressful using it than it is not using it, especially when you put it to test in areas that you know aren't going to work very well. And I'm always doing that for my YouTube channel. If I were driving manually, and I've said this 1,000 times, I would not be really pushing it to the limits like that. I wouldn't have tested something like that because I just know that it does stupid things. And that's the thing. Today, it does do stupid things. And I'm not going to say bad things about it because it is beta and it is improving. But at the same time, it's a little bit, it makes you uncomfortable when other people are around. If you're driving in the middle of the night, not a problem. It can do stupid things all night long, and nobody's going to see it, nobody's going to mind, and you're in the clear. But with other people around, and that's the thing, you just have to be really careful because you don't want to upset other people. You don't want to confuse other people. Okay, getting really close to that truck there. And you also don't want people to have a negative image or a negative impression of this full self-driving. And it's, people know by now that Teslas can drive themselves. They don't know when it's driving them, when a car is driving itself, and that I think is really on Tesla to figure out. They need to come up with some sort of light or some sort of way of notifying other people when beta is turned on, because it is a test right now. This is basically like a test taking place on public roads. And people have a right to know when your car is doing things it probably shouldn't be doing. And by that I mean experimental stuff. Like sometimes it'll attempt to do a U-turn and it will swerve right to go left. And that's, kind of scary. But that's only when you press on the accelerator. Right now, U-turns are not possible. It will say, press accelerator to resume. Unable to complete maneuver. Please take over now, or something to that effect. And then also, roundabouts are awkward. So some of these things, people should just be aware when you're testing it out. Because I guarantee that there are people that are getting this software. And it basically, once you pay that amount of money, you get it pretty much right away. And then what happens is, as long as you opt in, of course. And before, when I opted in, I had to go through a safety score. They had to evaluate and make sure I was a safe enough driver to use it. But now that's been taken away. So essentially, anyone can get it as long as they pay the money. But then what happens is they don't have any knowledge of how it operates because there's no training videos. There's nothing like that Tesla's doing today, which in my opinion, it's mind-blowing that they've released this without any real formal instruction manual or any guide or training. It really is mind-blowing to me. And I think it's not right. I really think Tesla should evaluate their approach to releasing this. Even though people paid a lot of money, it doesn't matter. It could cost $10, it could cost $1 million. The people that are getting it should be going through some sort of training. And they should be able to recognize when it's going to make a critical mistake, or when it can possibly make a critical mistake. For example, they should know very clearly that it cannot handle U-turns. Even though it will tell you on the screen, someone might not know that and say, oh, hey, I think it can do this, and then step on the accelerator. And I've done it before where it suddenly swerves to the right and it goes into the other lane and you get someone that honks at you. That's just one example of many where it operates in an unusual manner that can frustrate and confuse other people. Here we are making this right turn really nicely. So stuff like this is great. I mean, there really aren't any issues, but it's always those edge cases. And I wouldn't necessarily call a U-turn or roundabouts an edge case, but there are certainly edge cases as well that it can't handle. But how do you document that? That's the challenge. Like, how much do you document as not functioning, and how much do you document as being functional? Because even the stuff that's functional, it may be functional in one environment, but not in another environment. So I get the fact that it's complicated, and I understand that you can't really come to a conclusion on how it operates in any given environment. But there should be some sort of training involved, some sort of documentation, extra that's on top of the terms and conditions. So just so everybody's very clear, when you sign up to use Beta, you sign more or less like a release form saying that you are responsible, you are in control of the vehicle. Beta has, it's just, I can't remember the wording that they use, but it basically gets Tesla out of any liability and puts it entirely on the owner. And like I said before, if you purchased a Tesla, you don't want your Tesla to crash. So I think you're going to take over anyway. But it would still be nice to know, because all these new testers, they're so clueless, I feel. Unless they watch a lot of YouTube videos. But you can't count on that. Tesla needs to do a better job, in my opinion. All right, coming over this turn. So on autopilot, it never would be able to handle this turn. Now it handles it beautifully. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. I cannot get over that. I really appreciate your subscription. It goes a long way. It doesn't mean that you need to get notifications every time I post a new video, but it goes a long way to support me and motivate me to continue posting useful content that is informative and helps propel this full self-driving beta software forward. So thanks again so much, everybody, for watching. Have a great day and an excellent weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.